One.
3 times. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
That's loud.
my bad.
Look at this.
I wouldn't do that one either though. That's too much.
Well, you buy two, you get one for free. So,
Well, then let me figure out which one I want then.
hey, look at that, bro. That's fine.
That was fire.
So what's up, man? What are we doing?
That one right there. That'd be the perfect one. Not the moon. The one under the moon.
Yeah.
Boom. That's fire, bro. Hey, let me see. I might get that tattooed. It just looks cool. Where's my phone at?
Is that the process you get tattoos in? You just see something cool?
I just see
like,
something cool, bro, and I'm
I
like,
want
hey,
that on my body.
tat that on me, bro.
Okay.
What'd you think about that?
Yeah. I kind of want all mine to be like.
My first like
Custom.
10 tattoos meant something, and after that, I was like, I think
Fuck
it looks
it.
cool. Yeah.
All right. Heck it. Sorry.
Nah, you could cuss.
I don't want to. Pastor Mac watches these.
I can, but I don't want to. You could do whatever, bro. Okay, so look, let me formally. let me form.
Got my attention now.
let me formally start this podcast.
Okay.
We back at the Pick and Choose podcast, and we are here with the full name, first name, like whatever, however you want to introduce yourself.
I'm just a kid from Oak Cliff.
The kid from Akron, like just a kid from Akron.
Jonathan Andrew Gomez. That's my full name. Last three of my social are
Last four is
the last two of my social.
If you can guess the rest, you can get whatever you want.
Yeah, John.
We here with John, and we finna talk about some things and just get it rolling. I got here late because of traffic. Traffic's crazy, but appreciate you coming on, homeboy.
For sure, man. For sure.
And we're just gonna chop it up. And John is gonna tell us a little bit about himself. I know John, but I don't really know him. So I think this would be a dope time to just learn about him and just, get to know a friend.
Yeah, for sure.
And you say you're just a friend.
Oh, my hair
So yes, so you can start wherever, or you want to tell me a little bit about yourself, or where if someone were to ask you, be like, hey, how was your childhood growing up? What would you say? How would you start describing that?
I would say it's pretty tough. Like, I don't ever think of my life as hard because it's my life. I have no gauge as to what's easy and what's hard. Like, I know what I think is easy. I know what I think is hard, but I never think about my life in those aspects. And it's just because you have to go through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the pain, when you're going through it, you don't think to yourself, like, at least I didn't. I wasn't thinking to myself, like, oh, other people aren't going through this. I was just thinking, I'm going through this. And so I would say it's pretty tough. I had
on the mic, homeboy.
You what?
On the mic.
Oh, okay. My mom was, she had me when she was 14. And I was raised by my grandmother, my mom, my grandmother, and my aunts. And my grandfather passed away at a pretty young age. Never met my biological father. So it was already just like kind of set behind, like some setbacks. And
But you knew your grandpa though?
for like 3.5 years, and then he passed away.
Okay.
And that was hard on my mom because she was like 17 or 18 at the time. And then also a lot of their family, like my grandma just came from Mexico City, and my grandpa's family is in El Paso. So there's no family. My mom, my biological father is in another city. She just moved to Dallas. So it's like,
Bunch of things going on.
Bunch of things going on.
Yeah.
And that took its effects how it does. I love my mom so much, but no buts. It was just hard. She was figuring it out, and we kind of had to go through that sometimes. Of someone just figuring it out. But of anyone I've ever seen do it, I would say she's probably done it the best. She like, in her own eyes, it was right, and it was very noble. But she was like, I'm never gonna let him see me cry. He's always gonna see me as tough. I'm gonna tough it out. I'm rough around the edges, and that played a role in who I became eventually. But yeah, so it was pretty much. I mean, I could tell you, like, you could probably guess what I went through in life based off of that.
So can you explain some of that? So what is the effects? What do you think have been the effects for you for not growing up with your biological dad? Because I didn't have my biological dad growing up too, so it's like,
Gang, bro.
you know what I'm saying? Hey.
This should be called the Fatherless Podcast.
For real, fatherless podcast.
We got a father up in heaven
You better preach that. Anyways,
I would say,
now. So I'm not here.
one thing I have learned is that I should never go back and be like, oh, I'm blaming it on this. So not for a second do I want to give the impression that I'm blaming any of my shortcomings from not having a father. I just had issues with like confidence, self-identity. I found my identity in other things a lot, like sports. And that can happen when you don't have a father. But, I mean, even with you do have a father. But as someone who didn't, I just didn't really know. I was really frustrated, too, really angry. I dealt with a lot of anger, like a lot. And it wasn't until I gave my life to Christ where I was like, and not only gave my life to Christ, but was like, well, you know what? I'm going to surrender my anger, too, that I have not dealt with anger. But it was anger. It was self-consciousness. I would say that for the longest time, I had a really unhealthy view on women. And it wasn't because I wouldn't say that it was because I didn't have a father, but when I think of what I would do as a father, I would protect my children from things that are going to cause them harm.
disrupt the mind or stuff like that.
Exactly. But as someone at my age, going through some of the things I had to go through, I lost my innocence really young. That pure state of mind was gone really young.
Yeah.
And when I think about me as a father, I'm like, obviously, there's not much I can do to control that exact thing, but I know I can affect the outside. And so I think that was another one of those things where it was like just a really poor view on the world, on people, on women. And when I say the women, I don't mean like I was just out here disrespecting women. I just mean I didn't have the view that I feel like God wants us to have. Mm-hmm. Because I was seeing women as like, all right, I got to find a girlfriend. Or, all right, I got to have a girl. Because that's what everybody does. Like, survival, you know? It's like, I got to have a girl. I gotta do this. And I think that those three effects have had, like, some of the biggest in my life. No confidence, anger, and poor relationships, I think.
Have you ever tried to reach out to your dad?
No, actually. He's actually reached out to me a lot recently. And I thought about it. I was praying. I was like, you know what? I might talk to him. Because
But you've never talked to him, right? When you say you never...
Like, when I was 3. I don't...
Yeah, that don't count.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, he would, like... I would go over to their house as a kid to see his mom. His mom wanted to see us.
Yeah.
He would be outside.
Yeah. So you just, like, no type of relationship, no...
Yeah.
Okay.
But...
So I didn't have my dad growing up, but, like, I did the whole every other weekend, you know, type stuff. So I knew him, but he just, it's a long story, but like I knew him and stuff like that, and I knew like I didn't know for a fact, but it's just one of those things where you know like he's not really trying to have a relationship with me. For me, it was always like he was just trying to get at my mom. So he'd be like, yeah, you got to come over this weekend, and then my mom, she'd be like, bro, you haven't called in like 3-4 months, like, no, but this is my weekend, and so because of per the court, like, yeah, we had to go. So it's like, that's how it was for me. So, like, for you, when you said that he's reached out a lot, how do you see that, like, knowing that?
Well, I got to think and remember that he was 15 when he had me. So for the first 5-6 years of I'm 21 now. So I'm thinking of it like, what if I had a child at 15? And obviously I know what I would do, but
that wasn't your initial thought, though, right? How long did it take you to get
that took me a minute to get. I guess growing up, I didn't really think about it. I had a father figure who eventually came into my life because he was someone that I looked at as a father. Not really. He played that role for a little bit, but, you know, my mom, it just never really worked out. So I didn't really think about it that much. I guess because when I did, I would get angry. And I didn't really like being angry. Yeah. And so I would get upset, like, what's up? Like, you don't care about me? Like, you never even spoke to me. But I think he started reaching out once his life started to fall apart. And also, he started to reach out once he got a big boy job. Because once he got that big boy job, child support started getting pulled like crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it's kind of cynical to think of your biological father that way. But he's reached out, and I thought about texting him back, but one night he got really drunk, and he just started like talking shit about my mom, about I call him dad. I don't call him stepdad. I don't call him, oh, he's not my biological. He's not even related to me in any way. No, I call him dad. He started talking about him and, oh, you need a real man to show you how to raise a kid and this and that. And I was just like,
So the person you said that came into your life, that's what you call dad.
yeah, I call him
Okay,
dad.
okay.
Yeah.
That's how it is with me. My stepdad, I call him dad.
Yeah.
We don't have to tie this relationship by any means, but seeing how he did it,
Yeah.
stepping in and all that stuff, so like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Father that stepped up.
Stepdad stepped up like a mother.
Yeah. And so because of that, I wasn't. I don't really care to reach back out. I feel like the Lord will put it on my heart eventually, but right now it's not a.
So is it more like are you? Because I know a lot of times we might not notice this, but like, do you feel like I just don't have the mental capacity to do it? Not because I'm not capable of doing it. Like for me, okay, so for me, it's like he's called me a couple times too, right? And I don't want nothing to do with him. I don't talk to him. Like, I don't need to. I don't disrespect him. Because my mom made it very clear from the very beginning, you don't disrespect your dad. You don't disrespect your parents.
Yeah.
You just don't. I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, that's fair, right? And so I don't disrespect him, but for me, it's like I don't want nothing to do with him. But for me, my energy is if I do talk or answer the phone, or if I do answer him or whatever, text him, I'm gonna be disrespectful because I know what he's done in the past and I know how he's handled things. So is it kind of like that for you? Like, are you gonna spaz out, or are you just like, are you actually like chilling? Like, nah, I don't really need to do that right now.
I think I'd cry. I'm very emotional, and I'm easy to tears, very easy to tears. I think I would cry more than anything, and it wouldn't be like it would be just like tears just pouring out, and I wouldn't know how to handle it for sure. And so I think as I get closer, like draw closer and closer to God, I think it'll be something that I eventually learn how to do, and I think He'll provide. If it's in God's will for me to meet Him, I think He'll provide the space and opportunity for me to meet Him. But right now, I think I would just cry. Yeah. I don't think there's a day where I wouldn't cry, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I feel like as the older I get, the harder I'm probably gonna cry, just because it's like
you become more aware, like
yeah.
this.
And one day I'm gonna be 30 something, and I'm gonna be like, damn, I've never had a conversation with this man.
Yeah. Are you gonna wait till 30 something though to have that conversation?
I've thought about this. I don't want to wait till I have kids, but I feel like it might happen. Like I'm just have kids when I'm be like, damn, they don't even know like they're biological. And I know a few people like that, and so I know it's not like a unique thing that I'm like going through. But
she had a kid, pre-maritally. I don't know if that's a word, but
I'm just laughing.
but that's how it is. Like she hasn't really but she loves her dad though. Like it's because she didn't see what I saw. Right?
Is that your same dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have the same dad, and so she didn't see the
it's like girl thing
abuse and physical abuse, emotional abuse that I saw. Like my mom getting like 2 pieces in the middle of the living room, like she trying to leave, but he like throws her, like off the front door and locks her to start talking about you ain't going nowhere. Like she didn't see that, right? So, that's cool. Like it is what it is with her.
It's also often like a kind of like a girl thing, like to have
like
that
I love my dad
to their father, and like yeah.
But yeah, she hasn't taken my little niece to go meet him yet. She said one day. So, but I don't know though. So.
Such a messed up world.
It's crazy, bro. Like, and so okay, so from the whole, growing up, and like, when did you find Christ? Like, and through all that, like, mess, if that's what you want to call it, for lack of better words.
Mm-hmm.
Just going this way, going that way, your mom in a way still trying to figure it out because she's still young,
right?
And so all this stuff, like in the middle of all that, how did you come to Christ? Like, did y'all grow up in the faith? Was there anyone around you in the faith, or how did that come about?
I was baptized Catholic, and my whole family was Catholic growing up, and then my mom eventually like started going to like church because her husband at the time was like in the church. But it was always optional. And also, like, we would go to the kids' ministry. And the kids' ministry at most churches is a joke. So
Yeah, that's